We got scammed here. The Rolls Royce Cullinan, $300,000 car.
Luis R. Conricas is driving a stolen
Rolls Royce Cullinan. It's on his Instagram right now. I looked up that house in the background.
Oh, ho, ho.
He lives in Canelo Alvarez's home. Working at this dealership for like 11 years now. I'm the general manager. You know, we started doing a lot of exotics like 4 years ago, like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Rolls Royces. I mean, just anything, that highline stuff. And when you buy these cars as a dealer, like we have to, you know, get them transported. And we've been doing this for years.
Right.
Never had, I mean, we've had problems, but not like major, not like, you know, anything more than like, oh, the transporter's late or they canceled on us last minute or whatever. So that I'm used to, and we've been dealing with that forever. But, you know, this was something totally different. And I had heard rumors about like cars getting stolen in transport, but I'm just thinking like, okay, you must be stupid. Like you must have dispatched it to, you know, somebody that, you know, didn't have insurance or didn't have a license or something. Like just didn't make any sense to me. And it happened to us. What happened is the website we use is called centraldispatch.com. Okay. It's owned by Cox Automotive, right? Not this.
No relation.
They own they're Manheim Auctions. Sure, heard of them. Auto Trader. That's them. So they own Central Dispatch, and it's a load board. So let's say, you know, you're basically what I was. You're a shipper, right? Which is like a dealer or a customer, usually a dealer, right? And there's a car you want that's in Arizona, and you need to move it to Georgia. Okay. You're going to post it on there, and you're going to post it for, I need to move this car for whatever the going rate is, like $1 a mile or like $1.50 a mile. You know, I need to take it from here to here. Okay. And somebody's going to call in and say, hey, I'm a carrier, so-and-so. I have a driver over here right now. You can pick, you know, if you dispatch to me, I'll pick it up. You'll have it tomorrow or the next day or whatever. And then you just dispatch to them, right?
What is dispatch to him?
Like you just it's almost like an email. Like you just type in their name and you click submit, and then now it's theirs. They get all the information. And the reason that you need to give it to them is because on the listing they can see what kind of car it is and the zip code it's getting picked up from, and the zip code is going to. They don't see anything else.
Okay.
Right? So in order for it to become their load assigned to them,
they have to have that.
It has to be dispatched to them, so they have the actual address and the VIN numbers and permission to get it, so to speak.
And so some truck shows up at my house.
If that's where it's getting picked up from,
if it's at my house or at my dealership, and they put it on the car loader or whatever,
and it goes away,
and they take it. That's it.
Yep.
Sign some documents or something.
Yep. Sign like what is called bill of lading, basically releasing the car, which is the only reason that's there is so you can everyone can agree on the condition of the car.
Okay.
Right. Because, you know, the car gets to where it's going, and the new owner is saying, oh, there's a scratch here. Well, no, we have a bill of lading that says it was already there.
Right.
So that's really all there is to it. But what happened in this situation is, you know, we dispatched this car to a carrier, and they say they're picking it up. It was a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
Is that
SUV?
How old was it?
2020.
Okay.
It's like a $300,000 car at the time. They've gone down a little bit, but
okay.
At the time it was about a $300,000 car.
And that's all you get is a piece of paper. So nobody's bought the car?
No, we bought it. So we wired the money to this dealership that we bought it from.
Okay.
You know, we bought it from a dealership in Scottsdale. Okay. So we wired them the money. They said, okay, we got the money. The car's yours. The car's yours to pick up. Right. And that's when I dispatch it. And then the car is supposed to get picked up on a Saturday, and it's supposed to be to us by Monday or maybe Tuesday. Okay. I get a text saying that the car's been picked up. This is from the dealer that we bought it from. On Saturday, they're like, hey, car's on the way to you. I'm like, okay, great. That's what was supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. Monday comes around, car didn't show up. Again, not unusual because they are late sometimes. And then Tuesday morning, you know, I call the carrier that's supposedly has the car. Like, hey, just checking in. And they're like, oh, yeah, driver's running a little late. He'll be there in a few hours. Okay. 4 hours go by. Nothing. Call him again. He answers, which they usually don't even answer. So that was kind of a red flag that they were actually like being helpful. Mm-hmm. And he goes, driver's still running a little late. I'll call you back. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I call him again. I'm getting pissed at this point. It's like 5 or 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Now, granted, this car's been picked up since Saturday. Mm-hmm. All right, Scottsdale to Atlanta is not that far. It's like usually a 2-day trip, but it was over the weekend, so I was being nice. I call him like, where's the fucking car? Like, I'm losing it at this point, you know, because I already have this car basically sold to somebody. they haven't paid for it yet, but like they put a deposit on it and they know that we have it coming in. We paid for it. And this guy is like going, hey, do I need to go buy a car somewhere else? And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to lose this deal. I don't want to I don't want to be stuck with this car. And I'm going, where's the fucking car? And then this dispatcher, he has a really thick Armenian accent, you know, like a lot of them do. He goes, he's like, driver never picked up car. And I was like, what? You just told me he was going to be here in a couple hours ago. If you like, do you know which load this is? This is the Rolls Royce Conan going from, you know, Scottsdale to Atlanta. And he goes, driver didn't pick up car. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like I didn't know what happened yet. I didn't know how they did it, but I just knew that was not good. And then I called the dealer and I'm like, did that car get picked up? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yes, I signed for it. I was like, can you send me that bill of lading? You know, send me the piece of paper, prove it. And he sends me a bill of lading and it has the right VIN number. It has a name of a carrier I've never heard of. That's on there. It was like LG Motors. I've never heard of this carrier before. It's not who I dispatched to.
Right.
I dispatched to a company called Ayler. Right. Ayler Transportation LLC is who I dispatched to. And I see on there, like, who the fuck is this? And then I look at the delivery address and it said Los Angeles, California, with no delivery name, no contact name, and then I had a California phone number and no company name. And I text the dealer back. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, did you guys sign this? And he goes, yeah, that's my signature to release the vehicle. I'm like, why'd you release my car to somebody who wasn't me? Like, that doesn't say my company on there anywhere. Doesn't say anything about us. That's not even my phone number. It's a different state. I've bought cars from this company before. Like we've bought from them before. They know we're in Georgia.
Right.
So I'm saying like, why'd you release the car? Like, and they're like, oh, this isn't on us. I'm like,
it was. That's not on me.
I
paid you.
So like, imagine like if you drop your car off with me to get like an oil change on it, right? And then it's there, and then you show up to pick up your car hours later, and I'm like, oh, Todd came by and said he was supposed to pick it up, and I gave him the keys.
Right.
I owe you a car now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of what I was figuring too.
What'd the guy say?
Oh, he was like, oh, it's not on us. It's not on us. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is going to have to be handled at some other point, you know, because.
And you have a boss.
Yeah.
Like you've got to go to your boss and say, you know, the money that I had wired, I had you wire here. Mm-hmm. And for the car, yeah, well, the car's gone now, and these guys have your money.
Yeah.
And these guys aren't giving up the money because they're saying, oh, it's not our fault. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So
how'd that go? How'd that conversation go?
No, I mean, you know, so me and we're very close. We've been doing this together for over a decade. So, I mean, yeah, we're pretty upset about it. But at the same time, it's like we got scammed here. Like we got absolutely fucked. Now the dealer should be responsible because if it happened to us, I guarantee you, if it was on the other end, we would have to pay.
Did you call back the phone number, the Armenian? What did he say? Did he answer? Oh, got you.
Nice car, motherfucker.
No, he did not. He said nice. Oh my God. Are you serious?
I
know text. It's not funny from your point of view. I have the text. Look, that's horrible. That's just wrong.
Yeah, that's funny. I have the text. Yeah, he said he doesn't speak very good English, but he said nice. He goes, nice car, motherfucker. You already died, beach, not bitch,
right?
Beach.
Wow.
I'm like, and of course, then I go fucking crazy. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning when I get that. So I've been up in my kitchen all night pacing, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. We've already called Rolls Royce to activate because every one of these cars has like a stolen vehicle tracking system, right? So we've already called Rolls Royce and they're like, okay, yeah, it'll take approximately 3 to 5 business days to activate. I'm like, what the fuck?
3 to 5 business days? They'll have found that thing by then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like y'all can't do anything? And they're like, well, we can track the car right now. And I'm like, okay, we'll track it. Where is it? And they're like, well, we can't tell you. We have to call the police department. Okay, well, here's the next thing. The police, it took 3 or 4 days to even get the car reported stolen. Because I call LAPD and they're like, well, technically it didn't get stolen from LA. It got stolen from Scottsdale. So then I'm calling Scottsdale and they send the police out to the dealership. And the first time the dealership waves them off. It goes, no, this is a civil matter. This is a civil matter. Like, no, like we need them to go back out there to get a police report. So 4 or 5 days pass. We finally have a police report. The car's finally stolen. So I call Rolls Royce back and they're like, okay, well, we need to speak to the police department and tell them where it is. I'm like, oh, okay, God. And then I'm calling the police like, hey, Rolls Royce is going to call you. They're going to call you. They're going to call you. And they never called. So I finally got on the phone with the Rolls Royce. I'm like, look, just tell me if you're getting a fucking signal or not. I need to know. It was dead.
There was no signal.
It was dead. And later on, we, I had done a subpoena with AT&T because BMWs, which is who is responsible for a lot of electronics in Rolls Royce, have in-car Wi-Fi, and AT&T handles it. Like every car has what's called a MSDIN, which is like it's like a phone number. So it's literally a phone number, but you can't call it. But even if it's not activated, like you're paying for the service, it still has a connection to a cell tower, and it pings about every hour, like once every hour. And you can get it down to about a block, like where the car is.
Right.
So that module, the telecommunications module, which is also where that Wi-Fi module was deactivated in like 2-3 hours, like the same day the car was picked up. And
so these guys know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. At the time, I had no idea. At the time, I thought I'm sitting here thinking like, I need to find out who this transport company is, right? The one that I told you picked it up that was on the bill of lading. Because I'm like, they're obviously the ones behind it. No, but I called them and I'm like, hey, I need to speak to whoever dropped off this car. And as I'm on the phone with them, I'm looking at their website and I'm like, this is a really big company.
Right.
Like they're big. Like they have beautiful trailers. Like they're legit. They have great reviews. I'm like, something's not adding up here. And I get the dispatcher on the phone that handled that load. And she goes, yeah, we were dispatched this load, from a company called Deep South Freight and Logistics. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, I dispatched this load to Ayler Transportation. And she goes, we don't know who that is. We got dispatched by Deep South Freight to take this car from Scottsdale to Los Angeles. And I'm like, how? And she's like, that's all I can tell you. If you're going to have to call the police. We don't feel comfortable answering any more questions. And I'm like, okay. And all I could get from her was another phone number that was given to them by Deep South Freight and Logistics. And it matched one of the phone numbers that was on the dispatch sheet not dispatch, but the bill of lading that was signed to the dealership in Scottsdale. So I'm like, so Deep South Freight and Ayler are the same person, but how? Why? So I looked it up and I went on Central Dispatch, the load board. Ayler Transportation is a carrier account. Deep South Freight and Logistics is what's called a broker account. Now, a broker account is literally what it sounds like, right? Is your company, like, when you go on Google and you type in like vehicle transport and like a bunch of different companies come up, those are typically brokers, right? So they go on these load boards and they'll post your load and get a carrier to pick it up.
Yeah,
right?
they get whatever's in between money.
Right.
You're saying I'll pay
middleman, yeah.
$1,200. They get it for $900. They make $300.
So the way that the scam works is, and what we figured out is, so innocent customer dispatch it to the fraudulent carrier account, which in this case was Ayler, right? And then whoever's controlling that carrier account logs out, and then they log in to another account that they have as a broker account. So they're out there fishing to get the loads they want, to get the cars they want. Once they have the information they need, which is the address and the VIN number, and then they repost it as a broker, but instead it's going to a different address. It's going to a different state. So instead of going from Scottsdale to Atlanta, now it's going to Scottsdale to LA. And a lot of times when they repost them, they change up a little bit, like, because you don't have to put the VIN number when you initially post it, right? So instead of it being a 2020 Rolls colon, they'll post that they have like a 2022 Rolls colon that they're moving, just in case someone else is watching the load board, like the carrier who just got it.
Right.
And it goes, hey, why is there another 2020 Conan coming out of Noonan or coming out of Scottsdale? Like, let me call and get that one too. And then they call me, who just dispatched them that load, and they're like, you got another one? I'm like, no. And they're like, well, you got this broker posting this one, so they don't want to get caught. They're smart.
Right.
But they post them, and then an innocent carrier picks them up. So whoever picked my car up and took it to LA, they were just a carrier that happened to be going that direction.
He's just doing what he does.
Yeah, doing what they do.
He got an order.
Yeah.
He got paid. He picked it up.
Now, there's the only problem with that is typically when you're moving $300,000 cars, they're going to one of two places. They're either going to a dealership or they go into a private residence like a customer. These guys, if you look up the addresses where they put on the sheets to get them delivered to, they're dealership addresses. Like when they get there, right before the truck arrives, someone would call them and be like, hey, we're actually really busy right now. Can you meet us down the street? So they would have the driver go like a block down, and then two dudes walk up, or like one dude walks up. and just go, yeah, the car's for me.
Right.
And the carrier's like, okay, cool. You paying? That's it. Like if I got some pictures. One of the guys that was meeting like at a lot of these has like no teeth. We call him Tooth Fairy.
Right.
That's what I was calling him for the longest because we couldn't figure out his name. But he's missing half his teeth, like covered. He just looks terrible. Like he looks like he shouldn't even have a driver's license.
Do you have that photo? Do you have a photo of him?
Yeah, I do.
Somebody might call in and be like, "That's my cousin
I
Billy."
know. I know who he is now.
Do you know where he is?
Maybe.
That's the guy in the apartment next door to me.
I mean, I did promise them I'd find them when they said "nice car, motherfucker." I did make them a promise.
You know what that scene reminds me of?
Oh, don't do the taken thing.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
So that's Tooth Fairy.
Show the
God.
show your camera right here.
These guys are giving a $300,000+ vehicle to a guy who's missing half his teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Or more. Just because they were there at the location. Because this driver, he might have been driving for 3 days, 4 days. He wants to drop his load and he wants to go.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as someone's there to pay him and they say they're there to pick it up, half of the time they just hand him over. Now, there were some drivers that we heard about that would get there and feel like something's wrong. And then they would backtrack and call the broker and no one answers. They dispatch him and then they, look and see if they can find out whose car it is. Like a lot of dealerships have like their name on the back of the car. There's one driver that had 2 cars on there. I think it was an Aston Martin and a Bentley. And he called the dealer that was on the temp tag on the back, goes, "Hey, did y'all just sell these cars?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Where are they supposed to go?" And they're like, "Texas," or something like that. And he's like, "Well, I'm in LA right now, about to drop them off to this guy behind a Costco or something." Right.
And next to the dumpsters.
And dude, these guys, they got lucky. They got really lucky because, the transport was like, "Well, I'm not dropping these cars off to him, but, you need to hire me to bring it back to you." And they work something out.
Right.
But do these 2 guys, Tooth Fairy and whoever, do they have all the right numbers and credentials to show the driver?
They don't show them shit.
They just got a clipboard and a piece of paper?
They don't show them anything. They literally just, they're calling the driver.
Oh, they just back it off, and then the driver's the one who says sign here for it.
They're calling it. Yeah, they're calling saying, "Hey, we're here. Meet us here. This is where you can drop off the load," and the driver shows up and whatever. It's very unregulated. Like there's a lot of securities that could be in place with this that there should be, but there's not. Obviously, we've come up with things since then to protect ourselves from it. But before that, I mean, it was like one of those things where if it hasn't happened to you, you don't really...
Yeah, you don't know till it's too late.
You don't really think about it that much. I mean, you assume this is a company you can trust because it's a big, load board owned by Cox Automotive, who owns everything, and you're just like, okay, this is safe. You just don't think about this kind of stuff. But so the second that, I figured out the car was stolen, and now that I've explained to you how like the actual process works,
right,
of stealing it, right? So I start trying to figure all this out. So once I figure out how they did it, I'm like, okay, so that means Ailer Transportation is a fake carrier. Like they're a fraudulent company, which means every single person that's hired them probably got their car stolen. So I go and I look at their reviews. Now, granted, before this happened, their reviews were fine. They would have like, 10, 15, 20 reviews in the last week that were all 5-star that you don't think anything of it. But now it's been a couple of days because you can't leave a carrier a review on Central Dispatch until you've booked a load with them. That way there's no fake reviews. Mm-hmm. So now when I check, and this is like a week after, there's 1 star. These fuckers stole my car. Like, don't hire them. Like, they stole our Aston Martin. They stole our Lamborghini. Like, scam fraudsters. And I'm like, oh. So I start calling those people and I start asking them what happened. And then before you know it, I got a running list of like cars that are missing.
Are they getting getting a hard time by the police also?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's LAPD, and they
don't want to do anything.
They don't give a fuck.
Right.
They don't care. I had horrible experience out there. Horrible experience with the police, and I'll get to more of that in a minute. But I started like getting a list of these other cars that are missing because in my head I'm thinking, okay, all these cars are stolen by the same people. they're going to be hidden in some location. I'm thinking in my head, there's this like big warehouse that just has all these stolen cars and it'll be easy, right? So I start calling people, I'm like, okay, what car do you have stolen? And they're like, well, it's this one. And some people didn't even know their cars were stolen yet. They thought like I was a scammer trying to call them and warn them.
Right.
Right. And, you know, they're like, well, I don't know. And then they're like, oh shit, you know, we haven't heard from the driver. I'm like, yeah, your car's here. Right. So I get that information for their car and I start trying to see if I can get a tracker on it. And they've disabled all the trackers and GPSs on the car.
Right.
At this point, I got my car that's missing. There's a 2024 S63 AMG. There's a Ferrari 812 Superfast and a couple of G-Wagons and like 2 Bentleys. So there's like 6 or 7 cars that at this point are just poof. Mm-hmm. One of the G-Wagons gives a signal. The Mercedes like Jeep, the big tire on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives a signal. And they haven't cut it or something, or maybe they tried to cut it and it didn't work. So it gives a signal. We're all calling the police like crazy, like, please go here. It's at this address. Please go. And they finally show up. Only 2 cars are there.
Okay. Well, they got 2 cars. That's something.
But we were thinking it was all of them. It was a G-Wagon and it was a Bentley.
Did they grab the guy? Would they grab the guy, or
No,
they just found just 2 vehicles?
This. So they arrested them for grass. Like they were growing in this little abandoned shop there. Like it was a bunch of Mexicans that were like sleeping in there. They were like living in there.
Yeah.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. Whether you're having trouble falling asleep, you're waking up sweating in the middle of the night, or all of the above. That's where Ghost Bed can help. As the makers of the coolest beds in the world, Ghost Bed is your go-to for cooling mattresses, cooling pillows, and cooling bedding. From their signature Ghost Ice fabric to patented technology that adjusts to your body's temperature, every Ghost Bed mattress is designed with cooling in mind. So whether you want a plusher mattress that cushions your shoulders and hips, or a firm option with exceptional support, your Ghost Bed will keep you cool and comfortable all night long. When you purchase a Ghost Bed mattress, your comfort is guaranteed. You can try out your mattress for 101 nights, risk-free, to make sure it's the right fit for you. Plus, they offer free shipping, and most items are shipped within 24 hours. If you're not sure which Ghost Bed is right for you, check out their mattress quiz. You'll answer a few questions and get a personalized recommendation. Even better, our listeners can get 50% off site-wide for a limited time. Just visit ghostbed.com/Cox and use the code COX at checkout. Again, that's ghostbed.com/Cox with the code COX at the checkout to save a whopping 50% off site-wide.
And the landlord just kind of like abandoned the property when the last tenants moved out. And they were just like living in there and growing. They arrested the guys for grass, but nothing else. And I know this because I looked on the booking log to try to see all the arrests for that day in that area of the LAS or Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. No one got arrested for stolen cars or possession of stolen vehicles or any charges related to that at all.
Well, you would think the cops would have
investigated,
hung back and put a tracker on both those vehicles and then just waited for people to come pick them up, because now they would be tracked and they wouldn't know it. You see what I'm saying? And then you could follow them to where they're going.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
but that doesn't seem like a difficult investigation.
It doesn't. I feel like all they had to do was just look and see who dropped those cars off. There's cameras everywhere. Everything's being recorded. Everywhere is LPRs, license plate reader cameras. I mean, they could have figured out who got those cars there, but they just chucked it up to, they just hit them there. Okay, how'd they get behind the locked gate?
Yeah,
to hide them there. Like, okay.
Well, I mean, these are police officers.
Yeah, so that's over with at that point, and then we're just like, okay, well, I'm just saying, I got to wait until another car pops up. Like I get, something gets stolen or whatever. And every day cars are getting stolen at this point. And I'm seeing it on Facebook. I'm seeing it everywhere. And they all seem to be connected with this same group. Everyone I talked to, it was connected. So I'm like, these guys are just stealing all of them. So one thing that happened was like,
is it that same carrier at this point? So that carrier can't be
carrier, they've been blown, right? So that carrier would open up under a different carrier name, but I could tell it was them because they would use like the same text now numbers, or they would use like the same just like the wording and the load IDs and stuff. Like it would be about the same. So I was able to figure out when they opened up a new one. And another thing is right before they opened up a new one, they would dispatch a fake load to the carrier they were about to turn into or start posing as, and then they would write them a review. So they would swap reviews to build up the next company before that one gets shut down. So it was really easy to figure out what their next one was.
Yeah, it's like the fake oh gosh, those fake sponsors that we get. Well, as soon as I get one, you can check the email.
Yeah.
And the email's always from like Ukraine or somewhere. And then the other thing they'll say in there is they always use we are interested in conspiring with you to represent our and you're just like conspiring.
Oh yeah, it's like all these big words.
Yeah, these words, it's really out of context for a sponsorship. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they use the same basic phrases over and over again.
And that's how we could tell like it was a fraudulent company, because on the page on Central Dispatch about your company profile, it has like a little brief description, and most legit carriers put like 8-car hauler, fully enclosed, 2 units, whatever. The fraud companies would be like, we provide great experience vehicle transport across USA. Like,
how much time at this point in the story are you spending like researching this compared to?
Yeah, don't you have a full-time job?
Yeah, so it got to the point where I was going home at night, and I had to find this thing, man. I was like, because the thing is, like, people don't understand, as a dealer, insurance is different, right? So even if you file an insurance claim on something, first of all, you're not going to get every penny, right, or even close to it. And then next time you want to go renew insurance, good luck. It's going to be double, triple,
right,
less coverages. Like, it's bad. It's really bad. You don't want to be in that position. So I'm trying to find this thing. Every night I'm going home and I'm spending like,
what is your boss
3,
saying?
4
Is he
hours.
saying,
He thinks like, dude,
he's saying give up on it? What are you doing?
It's really hard to tell somebody to give up on something that you really want to. And I think he kind of struggled with that too.
Right.
Because this isn't the first time we've been like stolen from.
Right.
Now this is definitely by far the worst, like by far, both amount wise, the way it happened. This is the first time we've ever had a car stolen in transport. We've had people come in, with fake checks and stuff like that. And, like maybe a salesperson didn't look at it close enough. And, I wasn't there at the time, and then they got away, and I've had to track those people down, and I found all of them. But this is the first one that was really, really like, fuck. But I still thought I was going to get it the whole time, because I kept finding stuff, and he thought I was going to get it too.
So what?
So we're at where are we at in the story? LAPD's not helping. They found those 2 cars. They found those 2 cars that you.
Do we know where the cars are?
What do you mean? Which cars?
Any of them? I mean, you're saying there's 20 at this point. There's 10, 15 cars missing.
It's a long story.
And okay, at this point, are you still thinking there's like a bunch of rich celebrities or something driving around Beverly Hills in new vehicles, or are you thinking?
I think they got different ones. I think they got ones that they went and bought. But at this point, my biggest fear is that they're going out of the country, because I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but if you go on YouTube and you type in Rolls Royce Cullinan shipping container, right, or Africa, there's a video of a blacked out Rolls Royce Cullinan that looks pretty close to ours, getting unloaded from a shipping container in like Nigeria or something on like 2x4s. Like it's the most just terrible shit I've ever seen. And it's just like rolling like almost vertical. That video came out right before this happened to me. So my biggest fear is like, oh, it's going to Africa or going somewhere. And it didn't help that every time I open up my Instagram, there's people sending me that fucking video. Like, hey, I found your car. And I'm like, no, that was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks prior. It's not the same one, but please stop showing me that. But my biggest fear was going out of the country. And, I was really hopeful it wasn't, because we found some other cars so far. Like there's 2 cars that were still in the country. And then the next load that we got was... Actually, the next one that was found was that blue McLaren that Tooth Fairy was standing in front of. So he got that car.
How'd you find that one?
So that one, someone actually called me because I've been posting some stuff on social media, and somebody called me and said, hey, I just talked to a guy that had something similar happen to him. And I'm like, okay, give me his info. And he's like, yeah, he says that his car was dropped off in Los Angeles too, same area, and he has a picture of the guy. And I'm like, yeah, give me his number. At this point, I don't know that they're connected. I don't know he's connected to mine yet. And I get all the information I can from this guy, I get the carrier names, get everything, and then I get the picture, the Tooth Fairy, the one I showed you. And I'm like, oh, you fucker. I'm just like,
And he posed for is this was it the driver that
the driver,
said,
the true carrier. Yeah. He felt something was off. So he just kind of snapped a picture. And, I was looking at that picture and I was going through all the information. I look at the transport company they used, and they only told you they leave each other reviews. So long story short, I was able to connect that transport company with the one that stole mine. So it was the same fucking group. And now I'm looking at this guy's picture and I'm like, so it was you. I was going through and just saving all this stuff and trying to keep it as organized as I could. But then it kind of got quiet for a while. Like I didn't really hear anything. So I was like, how do we get them? And I go on the load board and I look at loads that are posted, and I notice some companies that have loads posted that just don't really make sense. Like the descriptions are a little off. And it was a company called like Dodge Logistics. And I look at it and it's going from LA to somewhere else in LA. It was a Rolls Royce. Didn't say what kind. It said it was a Rolls Royce, and it said it was a Mercedes, a G-Wagon, I think. And I'm thinking, are they trying to move my car? And then I look at their reviews, and they're left by Ayler, left by DSAL. I'm like, oh my God, they're trying to move my fucking car. I got to get this fucking car. But again, all I can see on the load at this point is the zip code and the type of cars. I can't see anything else. I can look up the name of the company all day. It's going to come up to a P.O. box in Ohio with a text now number. Like, there's nothing, there's no point. Call the police. They're not going to do anything. They won't be able to figure it out either. So I'm like,
grabbed your 357,
no,
got on a plane.
No. Well, I didn't know where the load was.
Did you think about like booking it as the carrier?
That's what I did.
Yeah.
So what I did was I look, stop making me laugh. So what I did, I kind of did similar to what they do, and I got access to a carrier account. Except I didn't steal it. I got permission from someone to use it because I have a shipper account, and plus they know who I am at this point. They're probably not going to dispatch me anything. And I call them. And I try to again, they don't answer. And I call. And then I shoot a text and I'm like, hey, interested in this load going from CA to CA, can pick up today. And they're like, load not ready till tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So next day I hit them. I'm like, hey, load ready? And they're like, okay, yeah, we give load to you. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting. Here's my company name. And then they don't give it to me. And I'm like, everything okay? And then they call me. And I'm like, fuck. I don't want to.
I think they got to recognize your voice.
That's why I got scared, because not just that, but most of these guys that are in this industry, like they don't sound like me. Like most of them don't really speak good English. It's kind of just kind of weird if you talk to someone that speaks really good English,
right?
And especially in this region too. So I'm like, oh, fuck, how do I do this? I panicked. I was like,
so you didn't think you could kind of fake like an accent?
I did. That's what I did.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear the accent. Dude, see, the problem is you don't feel comfortable with it because you don't mock people enough.
Oh, I do it all the time.
If you mocked people like I mock them, you get pretty good.
He's trying to get me riled up now. No, I did it. So they call and they say, hey, we're calling about the load going from California to stay within California. And I'm like, see? Like I try to say as little as possible. I'm like, see? Like, but we need to let you know that this is a blind load. I'm like, no? Blind load? I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Right.
I had no idea what they were talking about. I wasn't expecting this. I thought they were just going to dispatch me. And they're like, well, the place you pick it up from, you're going to tell them that you're taking it to, Maryland, but you're really taking it to this address in California, which is like 2 blocks away.
That sounds like, to me, it's already suspect.
So as soon as they said that,
but this Mexican guy probably doesn't know that.
Right. Well, he didn't. and I was like, okay, blind load, you pay me more money? That's all I could think of to say. I was like, you pay me more money? They're like, yeah, we'll pay you more. I was like, okay, blind load. And they're like, okay, you sure you're okay with it? I'm like, yeah, see, blind. I'm like, okay, all right. They dispatched it to me. They gave me the load. So now I had the address where it was. I had the kind of cars. They didn't put the VIN numbers on there, which I was kind of disappointed because, again, I'm thinking.
You wanted to make sure.
I'm thinking this is my car.
Yeah.
But at this point, I kind of felt obligated because I know they're fucking stolen. Like the guy literally just told my, fake person to lie about where he's taking him to.
Right.
So I'm like, I have to do something at this point. Like, even if I'm hoping it's my car. So I call the police.
Yeah, you got to stop that.
I know,
That's
right?
a waste of a call.
What do they even say?
They're like, okay, we'll look into it. And I'm like,
Look into it.
Yeah, it's like this
I'm
is
like,
happening
there's
tomorrow.
stolen cars here right now.
Do they have a stolen car like department or unit?
Uh-huh.
I mean, we need to talk to Vic.
Don'tgiveafuck.com.
Yeah. Like there, we've interviewed a guy named
there's a guy that was
Vic
probably-
Ferrari.
He lives like an hour from here.
Yeah,
He was,
you could go on his show too.
Ferrari.
He for 20 years he worked in the I'm saying
Auto
20,
theft.
might have been 10, but he worked in the auto theft unit for New York City. He's got tons of. I mean, he talks about busting them, shipping Audis to China, to Hong Kong, to like all these different ones. He seemed it like he was. Well, he made himself sound like he was really on it.
We also interviewed a guy who was stealing cars and shipping them to Africa.
Yeah, Skinny Kim.
Skinny Keem.
Keem. Sorry, Keem. Yeah.
I watched that one, I think, on the plane.
Yeah. Skinny black guy.
Yeah. But I mean, I called them and they did eventually go out there 6 hours later after me calling.
What you didn't
And
you
calling.
didn't get you didn't call somebody and say, hey, I need you to go pick up
I
this.
did. So I could, well, I didn't want to pick up, I didn't want to actually pick them up.
Why not?
'Cause
We
there's-
already know the cops won't do anything.
You know, we talked about this later on, like after this happened, because
And
eventually.
you'd be saving somebody.
Yeah, so
I
you're
would.
not. So you're not planning on actually getting a carrier. To
No,
go
we
get
we
it?
still saved the cars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
still saved
I
them.
would have had somebody come and pick up the fucking car.
We called the fucking police enough times.
Matter of fact, it's the same car you already sold. Now I can just sell it to that guy. I already got paid for that. Get my money back.
But they eventually went out there, but after I kept calling, and this is when I like called around businesses next door, and I was like, "Hey, is there something weird going on at this address you're at?" Because the address was actually a shipping lot. It was like shipping containers there, but everyone around them said it was just a junkyard.
Right.
Like they're like, they Rolls Royce there? No fucking way. But a couple people went, took some pictures over the fence, and they said, "Yeah, there's something. It looks like an SUV. It's nice. It's nice looking, like, but we can't really tell. It looks like a Mercedes." One of the cars was a G-Wagon that was there.
Right.
And they said it was in a shipping container. So I was like, all right, well, they're there. Like, I know they're there. Eventually they showed up and they said they were there. They found the cars.
And this is the day before you're supposed to pick it up.
No, day of.
This is
day
like,
of.
this is days. This is like weeks later. I've been looking. This is when I've been looking.
I know that, but you had told the guy on the phone, my guy will pick it up. They said,
Oh,
it's not
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
So same day,
Yes.
5 hours later,
Same
you finally
day.
get the
Yeah,
cops
because it was
to
like
show
first
up.
thing in the morning. It was
Okay,
like
so
first.
the cops show up. Do they get anybody, or they just find the cars and run the VIN?
Oh,
and
they
say
just
these
found
are
the
stolen?
they just found the cars and ran the van. I never got.
They didn't pull back and wait and let's stake this out.
Nope.
And,
No, they definitely didn't do that. They definitely didn't do that. No.
And then they go grab somebody, and then they can, I was their club. They clubbing them. They're, stop resisting, stop resisting. No.
I would have paid to see that.
Yeah.
A lot. No, nothing. They got the cars because they were forcing. Because at that point, I feel like they just show up and they see the cars and like, ugh.
Because I feel like Skinny Keem would give up the other guys. He'd give up all the other guys. He put the whole thing together for him. If it was Skinny Keem was involved, I feel like he'd be like, yeah.
Did he throw everybody under the bus?
No, I don't. He
Yeah,
said,
I can't remember.
I don't remember. I'm just saying it's just a joke. I just joke around.
No, but these guys, I mean, they were really hard to catch, and a lot of times they'll use like a runner, like a homeless. There's one car that got dropped over. They just paid a homeless guy, like, hey, we need you to stand here and wait for this car, and that just shows how how naive can the carriers be. Like they sent me, I saw some pictures. They took this guy's driver's license, and you could see the dirt under his nails. Like he was clearly homeless, and it's like, yeah, well, he was there, said he was there to pick up the car, so we just.
Driving picking up a $300,000.
That was a Lamborghini. Yeah, that was for a Lamborghini Urus, actually.
How much is? I don't even know what that
That
is.
car, it was like $200,000. That one.
That's it.
Nothing.
They got a $800,000 Revolto about a month ago.
And so these cops, they did seize those two cars.
Yeah,
So they
and those
were
people got
going-
their cars back. Yeah,
And so did they talk to anybody at that location, or they just went?
they.
in?
I mean, I'm sure they did, but I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, I'm in Georgia.
They're
right?
not keeping you, even though you're the one who's calling these people.
I'm the one.
You're
I'm
the one working
finding
the
these
case.
fucking cars, and I mean, of course, they didn't tell me, but I really didn't. I don't want to say I didn't care, but I really didn't because my car wasn't there.
Right.
We got there. It was a different Rolls Royce. It was like a Rolls Royce Phantom, which is like the sedan. It wasn't mine. So as soon as I found out my car wasn't there, I was like, I'm pissed because I'm like, I wasted all this time. I set this up. I thought my car there. It wasn't. I'm like, fuck. I can't find it. And I almost gave up. Remember how I told you that I got contacted by a lot of people? So one came really handy, and this guy he called. He actually called the last show that I was on, VinWiki, Ed Bolian. He reached out to him and told him a story about a car getting stolen. And this before I even went on Ed's thing on VinWiki. I talked to him, like we had talked about it, but he called Ed and basically said the same thing happened to him. And Ed called me. He goes, "Hey, you need to call this guy. It sounds like you guys have a really similar story." And I call him. I'm like, okay. And he tells me what happened to him. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely fucking similar. And then I get the phone numbers that were on the dispatch sheet. I get the general area of where it happened in, and it was like maybe 2 miles away from where that McLaren was stolen, maybe a mile away from where my car was stolen, and a lot of the other ones. So I'm like, this is definitely the same. And then I start looking at, the dispatch sheet, other cars stolen by that same company, reviews, and that's how I found that Google photo. I'm sure you'll pull it up on here.
So what is the Google photos? You're looking for some vehicles.
So basically, his car still had a tracker on it.
Okay.
When it was stolen, he had a Lamborghini Urus. It still had a tracker on it, and it got disabled at some point. But the kind of tracker that was on it would actually show historical data when he logged into it. Like with mine, I couldn't see anything because it was like from the factory. This is like a Gold Star GPS or Gold Star navigation, something like that. They sell like little vehicle trackers, and we looked at the historical data, and it went through North Hollywood, into Studio City a little bit, through Sherman Oaks, then back to North Hollywood, stopped at a Target for like an hour.
Of course.
Gotta go shopping, something. And then they went like a mile and a half away and stopped on this street, Van Owen Street. And there's like a bunch of like auto shops and just kind of like industrial type stuff. But when it got there, it showed that the tracker was unplugged, like power was disconnected. Now it still had an internal battery that was going to last like a couple days, but right when it got to that address, unplugged. So it showed you the miles in the car, how fast it's going. It goes to 0 miles an hour, 30 seconds later, minute later, unplugged. Like, So we look up that address, and that's how we found that picture. We look up, like, imagine like
that's a Google Street photo.
Yes,
right?
and you see the fucking car right there.
So just so happened that it
Just
was
so happened
sitting there.
it just had that Google happened to be driving by at the same time, and we pulled up license plate reader cameras from like tow trucks. That tow trucks when they're driving around, they're constantly taking pictures of license plates. That's how repo companies find cars a lot.
Okay,
that's how cars get repoed most of the time.
What's going on in society?
So we contacted a couple companies that have access to those cameras, and there was a couple running that night. Those cars were only parked there for like 2 hours.
Right.
Like if that.
Got lucky.
So Google just happened to be going by. So I see there's another Ferrari there and then an Aston Martin. Now I try to get a hold of the guy with the Aston Martin because eventually, we just figured out which Aston Martins were stolen of that year and model and color. And he didn't want to talk to anybody because his car got found. So I never really found any information about that. But the Ferrari, it was a 2015 white 458 Spider. He never got his car back. He never saw it. I mean, he got paid out by insurance, but like he never got it back, but he still told me a lot of information. He sent me a lot of information. And they actually talked to the real carrier that dropped his car off, and they dropped it off at that Target that I just told you about, that the Urus was stopped at for an hour. So what had happened that day was Tooth Fairy, because we have a picture of him getting the Ferrari. He started his day out getting that white Ferrari at that Target in the morning. Okay. And then he drove that white Ferrari to go meet up with the carrier that had the Lamborghini Urus, because we talked to them too. And he said the guy got out, big gold chain, missing all his teeth, and he was driving a white Ferrari. And I'm like, okay.
Big gold chain. If you got a big gold chain, why can't you
Big
get your
gold
teeth
chain.
fixed?
Well, he had to get his chain.
Your priorities.
He had to get his chain first and steal everybody's cars,
But by now, he's made enough to get the teeth
You have
fixed.
big gold teeth.
He might have new teeth.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while. He might have new teeth.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
Could, I hope, But he drives the Ferrari to go steal the Urus, and then once they have the Urus, they caravan back to the Target, and that's where the Aston Martin gets delivered. Then all three of them drive to that shop, and that's how we saw that picture on there.
Well, since you know where the shop is,
You'd think the
how do
police
you
would go check it out,
yeah,
right?
Or stake out the shop. As every $300,000, $400,000 vehicle pulls in, you go, let's go ahead and let's figure out what the tag number is. Let's figure out what the VIN is. Let's just,
And that was the big struggle that we were having. Like we told the police, I don't even know if the police ever even went there.
Right.
To be honest with you, I don't even know. They might have, but I
just
don't.
not care. Are they just on the payroll? I mean, is it like
I think a lot of it was.
I know where Smitty's garage is. I pick up an envelope there every week.
I think a lot of it was there is like they didn't realize that the information I was giving them and that other people were giving them was actually like good information. Because a lot of people speculate, right? Like, yeah, I heard this at the shop down the street. Like, I heard this, this, and this. And they're like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever. But I don't think they realize that. Like, no. I know it's there. Like, I'd send them as much proof as I can, but they didn't really want to talk to me much.
This is some don't fuck with cats shit. You know, like did you ever see that video or did you ever see that documentary?
No.
You didn't see the documentary?
Is he making me out to be insane?
Don't fuck with cats?
Don't fuck with cats.
Are you serious? It's literally somebody posts a video about killing a cat, or actually several cats, and people start stalking this person on the internet, right? So they start through Google, through photos. He's put like the whole thing. They eventually track the guy down. It turns out he's a serial killer. He's killed 2 or 3 people, and they track him down, and he gets arrested.
This actually looks like something I would watch.
Because I mean, like he'll post a photo, and then they've got a whole group of kind of internet sleuths that get together, and they're like, okay, that is definitely in, whatever, Eastern Europe, or that is definitely in, when they start tracking it down. Then they're like, okay, that photo behind him is this, and they start piecing it together. They piece everything together.
I got really good at that during this. The whole like geolocating with the photos, like, because I would see a picture of my car.
Why can't we find Tooth Fairy? What about Tooth Fairy? We're going to find Tooth Fairy. Isn't that imaging thing that tracks him down through? He's got to have a Facebook. A guy as good looking as that's got to be on Facebook.
Tinder profile or something.
Yeah, Tinder. Exactly.
When he's got all these cool cars to show off.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to have an Instagram of him, probably not smiling in him.
Posing with him.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of people that were posing him that we did find. That's how I was able to track down the car to where it is now. But
and at this time, you're not only doing your own research, but you're posting on social media about it.
I was for a while. I was for a while, and I stopped at some point because I was getting so much bullshit.
Why are you getting bullshit? For doing what?
Like bullshit? No, like bullshit leads.
Oh, I thought people were giving you a hard time.
I saw your car. It's heading towards Mexico. Like it'll.
You're so funny.
It's in Africa. I saw the video, buddy. But it was useless information. I only got one good tip ever, and I got tons. I still get tips. I still get guys that the emails from like African like scammers that like are trying to get you to get you to send $100 to pay the fees for the 100 billion euro they're sending you.
The African Prince scam.
Imagine the car versions of those.
Yeah.
So they would like email me and be like, I know who has your car. It's heading on a train to South Africa. We can get it back, but I need $20 to gas money to go get pictures of it. Like, it's bad. It's really bad. And I was like, yeah, the car's not in Africa. I was like, how'd it get there? And it flew by plane. I'm like, oh.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that was it. But I did get really good at figuring out where photos were taken just based on like little things in the back.
Right.
Like, I'll show you one. This is the first. So this picture I'm about to show you is the first time I'd seen my car since it disappeared. Like, I've seen a photo.
So
of
how?
it.
Yeah, and tell us when you show.
This was that one.
Tell us how you.
This is that one decent tip that I got the entire time, because all the other ones were bullshit. But this guy, he messaged me and he goes, "I found your car." Because I put a reward out like $5,000 at first, so to try to motivate. He goes, "Hey, I found your car," and I'm like, "Okay, bullshit."
Yeah.
And he shows me this picture, and I'm like, you know that triple take you do where you're like, "Did you do one more time again?" Like that, I was like, "Holy fuck, that's my car."
Yeah.
How the fuck do you have that? And he's like, well, the girl in the photo, like I don't think she knows it's stolen. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I need to know.
I just want my car.
I need to show me, because he was like trying to blur out the face. I'm like, no, you show me that fucking face right now. Like, I need to see that face. And eventually he did. He showed it to me. And I track her down like on Instagram and everything. Then I find out who her boyfriend is.
Are we going to see the picture?
Oh yeah, I'm pulling it up. He does. Oh, here it is. Well, I looked up that house in the background.
Oh.
Well, I think I thought at first.
Nice, right?
It's not our house.
No, well, it doesn't matter. It still gives you something to go on.
They were stopped there for a photo shoot.
Oh,
because her boyfriend took some pictures in it too. They wanted to, see who looked the best or something. But that wasn't their house. That was like an Airbnb or something.
Yeah, but if you can track them down, they could
I
tell
did.
you.
There was no one there at the time. It was abandoned at the time. Getting
was
some
it?
work done. That house.
No, not that house. I just meant if you can track, if you know who she is, how do you track down her? Can you get to her Instagram?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got the photo. You could just go to one of those photo things on the where you drop in the photo and it tracks down and finds that person.
That's what I did. So
What'd they say?
I found her on Instagram and found her boyfriend who does like exotic rentals, quote unquote. I don't know if you've heard about those. If you're in Florida,
Yeah. There's, I mean, I've
it's
seen
bullshit. Like they act like they have cars that aren't theirs and stuff like that, but it's just scams. Like just doesn't make any sense. You know, there's something wrong, but can't really put a thumb on it. But I'm like, okay, why is this guy in my car? And I start looking into him. He says he rented the car from somebody. Okay.
Who'd you rent the car from?
His homeboy. They couldn't give me the name. I find out who it is. There's a whole shop over there that's, you know, wrapping cars and all this and wrapping cars and changing them and just doing work on cars, but they don't have a website. They don't have any listings, anything real, any real business going on there. And then I find the video of my car at one of these guys' houses, and it's got mariachi music blasting. There's a stack of money on the
Can you
dash.
explain how you know this is your car?
Because a lot of people, like, if you go on the VinWiki video, or like a lot of the videos on like TikTok, there are snippets of it. There's people on there that are just it's pissing me off. They're talking shit like, this guy doesn't know it's his fucking car. He sees a Rolls Royce with the same interior. He just thinks it's his. Like, no.
Right.
Like, I'm not stupid, okay? So have you been in a Rolls Royce?
No.
No? Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out.
All right.
I haven't lived the life that most people think I've lived.
It's not what I heard. But they have a starlight. It's called Shooting Star headliner, right? And where you get in, it's like little twinkles, like the star, like little stars in the ceiling is like twinkling. And what a lot of people don't realize is that's from the factory from Rolls Royce, but every single one of them is unique. It's like a fingerprint.
Okay.
So you won't get into Rolls Royces and the little patterns, like it's a whole constellation, like stars.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to get in one and get in the other, and it's going to be the exact same ever. So if there's a picture of my car showing the starlight headliner turned on, and then I have a picture of my car from before it was stolen, and it looks the exact same,
you could tell.
It's gonna be the same fucking car. And I'll show you this picture. So when I was looking at the pictures of it after it was stolen, you know, the ones that I was like, okay, this might be my car. I was comparing them. Like this one actually has one of the guys sitting in the back seat that what's his name posted on the cover of that VinWiki video. Okay. Oh wait, no, cargo theft album. Okay, here we go. So you see how, like, obviously those lines aren't there. I drew those lines to show how it would look.
Got it.
So
got it. Can you show that?
Yeah, I can.
Show that to.
So this is. So like,
but he drew so you can see it's a constellation, but it wouldn't be that way if you were looking at it. It'd just be the pinpoints of light.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just connecting.
But he knows the constellation.
So yeah, like I took this picture, like this is a previous picture, right?
Yeah.
And then I compared it to this one, which has the singer who was the last person to have the car since it was stolen, Luis Enriquez. I took a screenshot. It's the same exact pattern, like identical. No way it could be a different car. On top of that, it's a black Cullinan that has Arctic white interior with the red piping and the red stitching for the emblem, and then the black paneling. Okay, I've only seen like 3 of those ever.
Yeah, so these are all very unique vehicles.
They are to begin with.
Okay.
There's not a million of these rolling around in the first place. So that on top of that, it was like once I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's definitely the fucking car.
Okay,
Definitely it.
So all right, so you know it's your car.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, do you know where it's at? How do you figure out where was that address? Is that in California?
The address that this photo was at?
The influencers.
The influencer photo.
Like the lady and
the
her
girl,
boyfriend.
the woman that was.
Oh, she's not. I wouldn't call her an influencer.
Yeah.
They were. That was in Beverly Hills.
Okay, so you knew at that point. It's still
I
in
knew the
Beverly.
car was still in LA at that point. So that's when I reached out to her boyfriend. Well, not reached out right away. I started following her boyfriend around on social media, trying to figure out where he was at and what he did. And, I eventually did reach out to him directly, and I told him everything I'd figured out. And he told me, I had no idea. I rented the car. I don't know who has it now. I can't help you. Just sketchy.
Yeah.
So I move on from him because I knew he wasn't going to tell me anything for now. And that's when I got a video by somebody else who they're actually pretty big on Instagram and social media. I won't say who they are because they asked not to be named, but they sent me a video and said, you might want to look at this. And it was a walk around video of my car with like mariachi music blasting. There was another Urus next to it. And it's like they're just showing it off. And like you could even see their address in the video. Like the numbers on the house in the video, and like a big stack of money on the center console. I'm like, wow. But the car was wrapped. Okay. So at first, like it was wrapped white because my car was black when I got stolen, but in this video it was wrapped white. So eventually, at first, I was like, yeah, that's not my car. That's not my car. I was like, and then I watched it again. I'm like, oh, I see the interior. I'm like, they fucking wrapped it.
Yeah.
And they changed the wheels on it. That car had like $15,000 wheels on it. Like they're like Travis Scott Forgiatos. They look like they look like a dish. Like they literally look like this.
Right.
Like there's no spokes or nothing. Some people like it, I guess. But they took those wheels off and they got rid of them. And they put different wheels. So this car was like unrecognizable at this point.
Were they like spoke wheels, like the ones the Mexicans?
The ones they put on there? No,
the big white walls.
The ones they put on there.
Was it jumping?
Oh, talking about the lowriders?
You're met with the mariachi music in the background, and you're sitting there like, oh my God, what's happening? They're torturing me.
It sounds like what you hear, like La Paria, like just blasting. And I remember getting really upset every time I go watch the video because I start getting annoyed because like if you're on the phone with someone, you watch a video on your phone, it starts playing at full blast.
You can't even go to a Mexican restaurant now, can you?
I can't.
I feel like they're mocking you at this part. Is that what's happening? Is this guy like, let's send them? Like there's like a group of them together. They've got this car they're sharing.
So
renting it out to our friends. Let's mock this guy.
This car, this is out of like the original group of cars that was stolen. This is one of the only ones that didn't turn up, that didn't stay in the States. Like this, I think actually at this point, I think it is the only one out of that group. Now there's been hundreds that they've stolen, but that group of like 12 to 15 cars, this is the only one that left the country that we know of. I think it's because I think part of it's because I made it way too hot because they knew I was trying to find it because I got close. Like that, I figured out where that house was, where that video was taken, and I had people there the next day,
ready to go,
like looking to see if it was there, like taking pictures and stuff. Because I called the police because they were going to be useless. But I knew that if I took a picture, if I had a picture of my car somewhere and I gave it to the police, they would have to go. Like I knew that they were going to.
In LA, somebody can move in your house, and you have to evict them. Like they can just break in your house practically and move in and say, "Oh, I live here," and then they got
squatters, right?
Squatters. And then if you're like, "Okay, well, I'm going to come in the house," no, you're not. And the cops will. There was a video the other day where the cops arrested the homeowner for
trying to kick them
out.
Own
house. Like ridiculous. I can go in my own house. Like I mean, these people moved in 5 days ago. I've called. You're not doing anything. You got to evict them. Evict. Like listen.
I mean, that's kind of like with cars. Like when it comes to like repos and stuff like that. Like if someone comes and buys a car and unless they scam us, like write a bad check, we can't really call the police. Like if their deal falls through, we can't call the police, tell them to come get it. They're like, it's a civil issue.
Yeah. So the cops, you have the video. You have the video of the car.
Oh yeah.
You show that. Do you send it to the cops? Like what? How does that progress right there?
So I send it to the cops, and
aren't they tired of you by now?
Yeah. So at this point,
do-gooder citizens.
At this point, I've been passed around to 3 different detectives. One of them told me everything but fuck off.
This guy, the problem is the conversation they're having between each other is like, this motherfucker wants us to go out and arrest criminals. Who does this guy think he is? That's not what we do.
One of them basically, he didn't threaten me, but he like that.
I wouldn't take it serious if he did.
Dude,
you don't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't arrest anybody.
What are you gonna do? Arrest me?
Yeah.
No, but he said that when I sent the people out, to look at those other cars or at that shipping yard or whatever. He found out that I had sent somebody because I guess they looked on their camera. They saw that someone was taking a picture of them. And he goes, did you send someone out here? I was like, yeah, because you guys wouldn't answer the phone.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if you guys were there. And he said, you don't have anybody follow me. And I'm like, I didn't have anyone follow you. I was there first. Like, I was just seeing if you were there. He goes, listen, he said, what did he say? He goes, you sell cars. I'll do police work. And I was like, I'd love to.
Yeah.
That's the whole point here. That's
give me my car back. I'll sell it.
But he got rid of me. He passed me out to somebody else. He was actually, there was another guy he passed me out to that was pretty cool, but he was under him, so there's not much he could do. Then I got passed off to this third detective, and he actually did go out there. Like when I gave him this address where that video was the car, he went out there because the car's not there. And I'm like, well, did you look? He said, well, there's only so much we can do. We just didn't see the car there.
So he drove by on his way home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind going by. Why? It's on my way home.
We didn't see it.
Yeah.
But then
Slowed down. Yeah, I looked.
Not even like 2 days later. I think it was the next day is when I found out the car was in Mexico.
How? How'd you find out?
So the guy who took that video, who I know who he is, but I'm not gonna say his name out there. But the guy who took that video is really good friends with his dealership called Alvarez Exotics in Mexico, in Jalisco, or the city is Zapopan. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Doesn't matter.
It's close. It's a Z.
Whatever. Yeah.
They post the car, but the wrap is off of it now. So they took the wrap off. It was wrapped white because it was black, like the black paint when they stole it. They wrapped it to hide it from me, and then they took the wrap off and they posted it again. And they're like, Vendita.
Too much heat on them.
Yeah, Vendita is what they say. Or I mean, whatever the word is for sold, it starts with the V. And they post like 4 or 5 pictures of it. And it has the interior. Again, I look at the stars. I measured them again, so I knew it was my car. And I'm like, this is definitely the car. I'm like, what do I do? I call the police, and they're like, well, it's in Mexico. You can call the consulate or the Mexican liaison unit. I'm like, so you guys aren't going to do anything. And they're like, really, there's nothing much we can do.
So there's a stolen car in Mexico.
Yep. Probably multiple, because
Feel
this dealership, and anyone can look this up. They're called Alvarez Exotics, right? They're on Instagram right now. They have tons of cars on their Instagram. You'll never see a VIN number. You'll never see any close-ups of the odometer over the dashboards ever, because on these stolen cars, you can see it says like SOS light where the modules are unplugged, right? And it's very clear. They never post any close-ups of the dash, and their website doesn't work. They have a website that's listed on there. They don't have a real website.
I feel like this is a case for Cash Patel. I feel like
that'd be great.
I feel like that's the way to go. This may be a case for Tom Simon.
Yeah,
Tom Simon
Who's Tom
Investigates.
Simon?
He's a retired FBI agent who comes on the show regularly, and he's now a private investigator
For the I'm sorry, he's now a licensed state of Florida private investigator.
And he sometimes he gets these cases, these financial fraud cases, and packages them up and hands them over to the FBI.
Yeah, so he's the guy that he'll write it up just like he's an FBI agent, because he was for 26 years, and then he walks it into the field office, and they
know who he is.
Yeah, because he's retired.
They know it's.
They give him respect.
They know
They
it's a good
come out and
source.
they don't go, yeah. Well, they sit down and they go, here's what's going on. Boom, 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 boom. Here's the course of action, and then they're like, fuck, all right, and then they go through with it. This is the most. It's so fucking pathetic. That's what you have to do to get anything done. Like it's such a clear crime that's happening. And really, let's face it, what is it? All it takes is one guy to walk in that dealership and go, man, I saw that thing on Instagram. Well, let me see it. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Take a picture of the VIN number and say, yeah. Okay, so you guys are all going to fucking jail.
Well, the VIN number had been swapped.
Oh, they swapped it. So how do you know?
How do I know it was swapped?
No, obviously it's different.
How do you know which car it is?
Yeah, how are you gonna do now?
The Starlight, the color, everything else about it, just matching up the pictures.
Do you think they swapped it all over the car? Because those VIN numbers are in a lot of places.
They didn't. They only swap it on the door and on the windshield.
So it's not hard to fucking crank this motherfucker up.
Very
Let's do
easy.
this.
You hook up any scanner to it, any computer, you're going to know which car it is. But that's only if someone's checking.
Someone made the effort.
I didn't give up when I saw the car was in Mexico, because I look up the dealership because it said Alvarez Exotic. It looked like a very nice dealership. Like if you look it up and see the pictures, they're really nice. So it's owned by, Canelo Alvarez, the boxer. His face is painted like huge in murals on the walls, and his logo is on the dealership. So I'm assuming it's his. It's owned by him because he was the same last name.
The dealership?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But apparently it's owned by his brother,
Right.
Victor. And, nobody knows who Victor is. So I'm assuming it's Canelo's, and it's just something that his brother runs for him. So I reach out to them. They don't speak any English, but I have a translator. I have someone who works for us, one of our mechanics that's translating, and they're saying, hey, we know that you guys have a car listed that's stolen. And the girl who answered his phone, she passes the phone to somebody else. And this guy, he said his name was Hector. But again, we're looking for a Victor here. He's like, my name is Hector. He goes, yeah, and this is translated, of course. He's like, yeah, we heard that car might be stolen. So,
and feel bad about it.
No, he actually said he acted like at first he was trying to help. He was like, well, we can go look at the VIN number, and if it's your car, then it's your car. We'll help you. Like we need to go and look at it, and I'm like, well, you need to hook it up to the scanner. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna hook it up to the scanner and see. I'm like, I wonder if they're actually gonna do it. Well, they didn't.
No.
That same night, he sent us pictures of another Rolls Royce that looked kind of like it, but I knew immediately it wasn't the same car. And I'm like, okay, they're fucking with us.
Yeah.
Like that means they went and checked and they're like, oh shit, it actually is stolen. If they didn't know in the beginning that they were buying stolen cars, which I think they did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I mean, I start, going around and I realized this got to be Canelo, the famous boxer. I mean, he's got like 250, or what is it? He has a ton of followers on it. It's like 25 million followers on Instagram, something like that.
Nice.
But he was about to fight. Who's the fighter?
You want us to put his link in the description box so people can drop him a message?
Who was the fighter? Jake Paul. He was the one who was about to fight Jake Paul like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Jake Paul was trolling him online too.
What happened? He couldn't get in the country?
No.
Then Trump got elected.
But I started going on his Instagram and I messaged every single person that he follows. He only follows like 200 people. Every single person that he follows, I sent him a DM saying, hey, Canelo's company steals cars and I think you should know about it. Every single person. I did that all night. The next morning I woke up to a voicemail from his lawyer.
Oh.
Asking me to call him.
In English?
Hey, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His name was Greg. White guy. And I call him, I tell him everything that happened, and he's playing the lawyer role, like, well, you think this is your car? And I'm like, I know it's my fucking car.
Yeah.
And if something isn't done, I'm gonna fucking tell everybody. I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna tell everyone about this, that Canelo's a piece of shit, and that his brother steals cars and he doesn't give a fuck about it. So
what did he say?
He's like, well, I know you feel it
Yeah, I mean, was it a cease and desist, or was he trying to tell you to shut up? Go away?
He did go talk to them. He did go talk to them, and he came back to me. He goes, well, they're saying that you don't know it's your car, and they've had so he did go talk to them, which means I know he believed me.
Yeah,
I know he wouldn't have called me if he didn't believe me. So I know he.
Is this an American lawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah, he called. I mean, I could tell he believed me, but I guess he went to Canelo's brother and was like, no, that's bullshit. And then Canelo's brother went out and made a statement and saying that they knew nothing about this. And then the singer that they sold it to, his name is Luis Conriquez.
Luis
R. Conriquez.
Luis R. Conriquez is driving a stolen.
Oh, yeah. It's on his Instagram right now. And then he went on Instagram and on TikTok Live and told me to go fuck my mother, I think.
Really?
He said it in Spanish. Yeah, I have a screen recording of it. He went on TikTok. He's like, if you think it's your car, come and get it. Come to Mexico. Come get it.
What are we, fucking children? You're driving. You're a fucking.
I think he
thief.
knows. I think he knows damn well I'm not going to come to Mexico.
Yeah, well, he's a thief. You're a thief, and you're driving a stolen
his
vehicle.
songs are like, people say he's cartel and all kinds of stuff. I mean, he's I'm not going to Mexico. I'm not dying for a car.
Yeah,
but he was very loud about it, saying like, yeah, if you want it, come get it.
He's getting serious.
Yeah, so we know it's there. But it's funny though, because that's the only car that left the country. Out of all the ones that were stolen, most of them have been recovered by now. It's the only one that went out of the country.
So what are we doing now? Did you call Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Oh,
he'll go to Mexico.
That's what I thought. Didn't he get called in on?
Yeah, he got in trouble one time. I think he got arrested going to Mexico.
Did he really?
Back. Yeah, you went to Mexico or something. They arrested him or something. He's like, oh shit, this didn't work out.
Yeah, no,
he's probably not going back.
I'm not going to Mexico. I mean, at this point, I'm just being more, being really careful, make sure we don't lose another car, and hopefully some people pay attention to some of this and change some things.
Are you finding photos?
Yeah. I'm looking at the photo of Luis Rodriguez
in the car.
Luis Conriquez.
Yeah.
You found him.
Isn't he? He's the guy in the thumbnail. He's got a beard. He's got like a kind of like a trimmed up beard, watch, black.
Fatty.
Yeah, he looks like he could be. Yeah. Georgia man discovers that he has stolen Rolls.
Yep,
Georgia man discovers his stolen Rolls Royce in Mexico being driven by a famous singer. Is the,
That's it.
like the Instagram post?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was enraging because he was posting it like crazy. Like he was in the. I remember one night I was watching.
He's thrilled. He picked it up for $25,000.
Probably, yeah. But he was like one night I was watching him and he was like in the back of it because it's got little screens in the back. You can sit there and have a little limo experience. He's back there with like the champagne flukes because it comes with like champagne glass. And he's just like spilling them all over the back seat like on purpose. Like he's like filming it, just like spilling. I'm just like sitting there like, oh, you motherfucker! I'm just getting mad. I couldn't watch it anymore.
So, how do you guys claim on your insurance?
Yeah, I mean we do, but I mean like
now your insurance gets jacked up, and every time
it's horrible. Now it's like our insurance is like it's like useless, and
Right.
you know they don't give you. There's limitations on it. I mean it's not the same as like if you have like Geico or State Farm. It's like if I go wreck one of my personal cars or one of my personal cars gets stolen, you know it'll be covered like full, but different when it's a dealer. Policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they look at your risk every year, and you know if you're
And
losing,
the fact that they just paid out $350,000.
yeah, you're probably not profitable anymore. So yeah, they kind of.
I would think you would have hired an attorney to go after the guys that handed over the vehicle to somebody that didn't provide the correct information. Like I ordered the vehicle to be picked up.
It takes time.
Are they probably what do they call?
I mean,
it?
no, they
Arbitrage? No, what
they
do they call
definitely arbitration.
Yeah, arbitration. Thank you.
I mean, so when it comes to like wholesale and stuff like that,
maybe
it's
sounds
a little bit different. It's definitely a process.
Yeah.
you know, it's something we're looking into.
When insurance companies do that,
Yeah,
typically the insurance companies will go and then they'll go to the other insurance company and say, "Come on, man, don't make us fucking sue you." You
yeah,
know, you know what I'm saying?
they're definitely responsible. I mean, yeah, they didn't steal, they weren't in on it or anything.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but it's like at the end of the day, they handed off a car to someone who wasn't authorized to take
Right,
it.
you looked at it. You knew who ordered the fucking vehicle. You didn't check
it works too often, unfortunately, because all these other cars that got stolen, it was the same method. They were doing the same thing because people get complacent. They get used to cars. Like if they know a car's getting picked up and they've already sold it, they know a transporter is coming for it. As soon as the transporter shows them, says, "Hey, I'm here to pick up this car," they're like, "Oh, okay, here you go." They're not suspecting, "Oh, this could be stolen," even if the transporter looks really legit. Because again, the carriers and the drivers aren't the ones stealing them.
Right.
It's the people who are setting it up.
Yeah.
And everyone pictures like this sketchy looking truck pulling up that everything's falling off of. And like, "Oh, that guy doesn't look right." But
the
no,
same guy that shows up four times a week.
It's the same guy that you've probably used before and hired in the past.
Yeah.
He's just hired by somebody that you don't know is stealing your car. That's it. So it's rerouting. It's not like, people say it's like hacking. Like they're not hacking these accounts on Central Dispatch to use them. They're not doing that. They're obtaining the information needed to make accounts using their DOT information.
Hacking the system.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but it's so much worse than that. Like they have a website. It's called trucks with an S -secure.com. Pull that up real quick. See if it's what I think it is.
So when I click on it, I see the website, but when I actually click on it to open it up, it says page not found. The page you're looking for does not exist or has been moved. So, but it does
finally
have,
get shut down. Good.
But it does have the I can read it. Looking to sell your trucking or logistics company?
See?
We specialize in helping owners maximize value and streamline their sales process. But then when you actually click on the website,
So they call around like truckers who have gone out of business and go, "Hey, we want to buy your old DOT numbers." And a lot of these guys are desperate for money. They're out of business. And they're like, "Yeah, sure. I need $2,000." So they take those DOT numbers, go to a different state, open up an LLC under that same name, and then they reactivate their DOT accounts. And now they can go make an account on Central Dispatch. Some of them even have real insurance policies. Like they'll pay for an insurance policy. The guy who stole ours, he went and got the cheapest insurance he could get.
To qualify.
They wouldn't cover anything, obviously, because it's fraud.
Right.
They're not going to cover it, but yeah, they'll go and do all this. So it's not hacking. They're putting a lot of effort into this.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's got a huge payday. I wonder what they really ended up getting for that vehicle.
So what I've seen is that the cars that are stolen, like a Lamborghini Urus, a $200,000 car, straight up stolen. Like everyone in the deal knows it's stolen. They're selling it for like $15,000.
15
maybe
grand?
maybe $20,000. You can go on Facebook right now and see them. You can go on Facebook on no title groups for
I'll
sale.
buy one for 20 grand.
Oh, dude, there's
20 grand, that's nothing.
Here.
15, 20 grand.
Here, you
that's
want-
worth it. Just park it in the garage.
here. You want to go shopping? Look.
And if you get pulled over, I just go and they say, hey, this is stolen. I'll be like, what? That's crazy.
Here.
I paid big money for this.
Here, you can go shopping right here. Let's see.
Get the fuck out of here.
These are all they post them on Facebook and in these groups. You can.
I always thought that was a scam when they were selling a vehicle for. Dude, that's clearly.
No, it's not a scam. They're stolen.
No, I understand they're stolen, but I kind of assume like if it's even if you know it's stolen, then they just take your money and they don't give you the vehicle. That's kind of like I figured. Like,
I mean, I'm sure
because,
they're
like,
doing.
What are you going to do?
I'm sure they're doing that too.
Yeah.
But like these guys are. I mean, they're selling like that's a Urus right there. Like they're actually selling these cars for like cheap, just to move them, just to keep going.
That's
I mean,
insane.
That's literally what they're doing every single day.
What kind of trouble can the guy who buys this vehicle get in? He's driving a stolen car.
Yeah.
Can he get in trouble?
Yeah, fuck yeah,
Oh,
you can.
damn it.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, forget it.
they're doing it.
Thought I had a new car.
But they're selling them, you know, they're immediately selling them. They call them strikers, right? When they're like stolen, again, everyone knows they're stolen at this point. They're dirty vans, all that. So they'll sell them and then they'll revend them. And what they'll do after they get these new vans, you probably know a little bit about this from that other guy.
From Mighty Mouse.
They'll go in. So there's a couple different ways to do it. One is they get like a Canadian van or something. Like they'll get a Canadian out of the country van that is for a new car, like a new MSO. Because I don't know if you know this, but a title for a new car is called MSO. It's not called title, right? So they'll get they'll steal a 2020 car, but they'll get a fake MSO made for a Canadian VIN on a 2024 version of that same car, and then they'll go and title that stolen car
In the U.S.
under that VIN number that they pretty much just made up.
Right.
But they have documentation they've created, and certain states are easier for them to pass it through. So they'll re-VIN it. So it'll have a Carfax, it'll have a title, a plate on it, everything. And they'll resell them. So like a dirty, not dirty, but like a clean VIN. It's not really clean, but like a re-VIN. They'll sell those for like 50, 60, still cheap.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
But I mean, they're
It's
selling
wrong.
them.
It's wrong.
Definitely. But
unethical.
the other way they do it is they'll take like a salvage van, like a car that's like total, that's never coming back.
Right.
Like never going to be real. It's going to be crushed. And they'll take that van and they'll put it on there. And then they'll go and retitle as a salvage title.
Right.
And sell it for 30, 40, 50 grand, same kind of thing. Because like a rebuilt title Lamborghini Urus, like that runs again, that's been rebuilt, you can get them for pretty close to that. Like probably 60, 70, 80 maybe. Now, so one selling for like 50 isn't that really surprising? But yeah, they're doing like a business out of it pretty much. I mean, they're buying them, selling them.
Where's Snaggletooth? What's his name?
Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy. Where's Tooth Fairy?
Somewhere out there in California.
Do we know? We're not worried. We're not talking about it. We don't want to talk about it right now.
Not really worried about him. He's
low on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Still makes me mad.
I'm sure he'll find his way. I'm sure he'll find his way into a prison. He'd be popular too. All they got to do is knock out a couple more.
One more tooth.
So have you given up hope on recovering this vehicle?
No, it's gonna pop up.
You think
It's gonna come back.
you think the singer's going to start feeling bad about it? Maybe.
No.
You don't think he's going to think, I was harsh. I really should do the right thing.
No.
So how did you find out about the live stream? Him talking? Were you in the live stream with?
No.
him on
So
Instagram?
after the VinWiki video came out, and then
Yeah, that got like 800,000, right? On YouTube.
Yeah, and
Posted a month ago.
Sheldon Fox at the Fox affiliate for News Miami. He did a story on it, and after he did it, it ended up on a bunch of like I have one of my friends. He's Mexican. He sent me he goes, "Bro, you're on Telemundo." I said, "What?" And he says he's in his living room and he's watching this like commercial, and then next thing you know, it comes up. They're like interviewing people in Mexico. My picture comes up of me talking. They're like talking about Alvarez. I'm like, oh shit. So people started talking about it in Mexico, and then I look on TikTok one day, and I've been monitoring. I just look up Luis Enriquez Rolls Royce, and there he is. Like he's responding to the allegations about it. And I'm like, oh fuck, let's see what he's gonna say. And he goes, yeah, like come and get it. But that was the only thing he ever responded to on it. He never really said anything else.
I mean, you would think that the local cops would be like, yeah, I don't think that's cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're saying come and get it? Like, are you driving it?
You know,
It's almost like he's
I think
it's not
he hasn't
denying
I think
it.
he hasn't paid off though. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, but
I mean, well, he's definitely not denying it. I mean, there's videos of him in it, and it's obvious. Like,
no, I'm not saying he's not saying. I'm saying I'm not suggesting he doesn't have the vehicle. What I'm saying is he's not denying that it's stolen.
Oh yeah, no,
he's not saying no. This is not stolen. I bought it from a dealership.
Yeah,
he's
entertaining it.
He's kind of like
egging
come
it
get
on.
it, motherfucker. Like if you think it's stolen, then come get it. Like
You know what's funny though is, and I figured this out. He lives in Canelo Alvarez's either former home or current home. Like the house that my car is posted in right now,
Right.
and that he's always posting is his mansion. That's Canelo Alvarez's old mansion in Guadalajara. I went and I looked at compared the photos because I was trying to figure out where the car actually was. Like, was it Canelo's house or Luis's house? He lives in Canelo's house. I don't know if they.
Yeah, no Mexico trip planned for the future.
no,
Yeah, I'm never ever fucking going there.
Yeah.
no, I would never go there.
No
anyway.
chance I'm ever gonna go to Mexico.
It's funny because I had been a few times. It was like 20 years ago, and like the local the tourist areas were super not like you feel like all Mexico's like this. The truth is, even the
That's a
tourist
lie.
areas,
You cross the wrong fence and you're getting.
it's
your head cut
horrible.
off.
Yeah, you're getting you're there. It's
I've seen the
a
videos.
horrific place.
I've seen the videos of people's dash cams when they like took a wrong turn and there's like
Yeah.
people walking up. Yeah, I'm never going there.
Yeah,
Not
it's
a
not
fucking,
worth it.
Not a fucking
No,
chance.
cops aren't going to help you. They're shaking you down. Like there's nobody to. Of course. Then again, that's what it's like in LA. They don't want to help you anyway. No. Yeah.
I mean, I think the car is going to come back at some point because, you know, they probably need to service it.
Yeah.
So they can't like you can only service.
I mean, no, they actually do have like they do have some dealers down there, but I think the car's going to end up back here one way or another. But you know,
This is something you can't. This is something you can't talk about.
no, I just no this particular question. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay.
It's not something I can't talk about. There's just we don't know. I know the new VIN number of it though. I know what VIN number they swapped it to. So if it does show up, I'm gonna know. If it pops up anywhere, I'm definitely gonna know. A couple days ago, I got a phone call from a friend of mine. He's one of the other victims. You know, we've just been talking about this together for so long. And he goes, "Hey man, this guy just dropped off a car to us, and I'm not there, but you know, my guy's there, and he's saying that this transporter's talking a bunch of stories, says he knows everything going on, and he's been working with the FBI, and like he knows Toothless, he knows all these people." And I'm like, okay, well, I want to talk to him. I want to hear what he has to say. And he's like, all right, well, when I get over there, I'll put all of us on the phone. I'm like, all right. So he gets on the phone, and this guy, he just sounds like a fucking idiot right off the bat. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. He goes, hey, I've gotten to the bottom of this. And I'm like, have you? Okay. And he's a truck driver. Like he picks them up. Like,
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, they're posting them as different kinds of cars as what they are, and putting different addresses of where they're going. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, we know this.
I'm like, did you pick up a car that was stolen? And he goes, I almost did. I'm like, okay, well, thank you for the information. He goes, wait, I got pictures. I'm like,
Pictures of what?
send me the pictures. And he sends me R. Kelly's. No, I'm serious. One of R. Kelly's dancers or bodyguards, I think is what it was. And he sends me a picture, and it's a screenshot from a music video. I'll show you. This is fucking crazy. He goes,
These are the people that are trying to help you.
and I go and I'm like, is this really like, you know, this is, and he goes, well, just look. And I'm like, okay. And then I scroll over, then there's a picture of Toothless, Tooth Fairy. Like my picture that I'd posted on social media. I'm like, these are my pictures.
Right.
And he's like, what? I'm like, I posted these photos months ago. And he goes, you know who they are? And I'm like, you fucking idiot. But this is the picture he shows me of the guy. Hold on. Oh, here. Oh, yeah. Here it is. R. Kelly. Like, he's like, that's the guy behind it all. He said, this, and I look at it and we figure out, I'm like, so this guy's related to R. Kelly somehow? Like, and he goes, yeah. And I'm like, how do you know? Are you 100% sure that this guy's connected? And he goes, not 100%. And I'm like, okay, well, what about 90? What about 90%? And he goes, I can tell you more than likely all these folks are working together. I'm done. I hung up.
Well, these are the people that are helping you. You're never getting anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, he didn't have too much to offer, but
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you get notified of it. Sorry, no, hold on. You hit the subscribe button and you hit the bell so you get notified of videos like this. Share the video to anybody you think might be interested or enjoy true crime. Also, we are going to leave all of Mr. Payne's links in the description so you can follow him on Instagram. And please consider joining our Patreon. It's $10 a month. It really does help Colby and I make these videos. Thank you very much. See ya.